J.K. Rowling got her inspiration for Hogwarts and Harry Potter books from looking at the school. Oh chaps, a wall that you built. I better show you this wall, just to make sure you see. Not as good as the wall that the women built, but it'll do. There it is. On your left, 1628. You see, it's still the wall in 1613. The women completed it. Here across the road on your right-hand side, the building with the red roof on the top of it is the medical school. Many famous pupils, one in particular, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Another gentleman would be Professor Joseph Lister, who discovered antiseptic, and another gentleman would be Professor Joseph Bell, who was the leading forensic expert of his time. And Sir Arthur Conan Doyle based his book Sherlock Holmes on that website. You see, Professor Joseph Lister became Dr. Watson in the story, and the chief of police in Birmingham became Moriarty. So everybody had a little part to play. At the foot of the road on your right-hand side, very modern building, the Tower. It's the Museum of Scotland. All the floors in it are dedicated to Scotland. It's all our Scottish artefacts we've never ever been able to show before because we just never had enough room to do it. Every day of the week, even on a Sunday, it opens at 10 o'clock in the morning. What we're going to do now, the ladies and gentlemen on my left-hand side, when I ask you to look down, I want you to look down at the pavement beneath you. You'll see some railings. You will see a little drinking fountain with a little dog on the top of it. We on the right-hand side, if you can't see him on the pavement, look at top of the door of the Prophet's house and you'll see Thatcher and a little dog. And the first tombstone in the grave there that you see is in memory of Ray Belford. People come and put flowers there all the time. There's flowers in the grave at the end. That is Elizabeth's master in the glass market. His master died and is buried in the churchyard. The little dog, day and night for 14 years, lay on his master's grave. So they got the grave at lunchtime when the fire, the 1 o'clock run, he'd run down the hill and missed the trail in one of the taverns they'd feed him. Here, look, on your left, and on top of the door of the public house. The day came in the city of Edinburgh when every dog had to have a licence. Well, they didn't belong to anybody, and so the penalty was death. But for once in their life, the people of Edinburgh got together. The Lord Provost paid for the licence. He gave Bobby a little collar, and Bobby put on the city as free as well. That little dog was 2 years old when his master died, and lay 14 years on his master's grave, so the love and devotion was very strong. I want to receive in the candidate which has a written collar, so I held it in my hand, but it says on it, he has Bobby licence. Bobby died in 1872. Walt Disney made a film of it, not attractive enough because you can't see its eyes, so they substituted it with a West Island Terrier. What a treat! You're not going to get that kind of terrier if you can do it. This is George IV, named after George IV. You shall see the statue later on in the tour, and if you make up your mind at times, but we'll sit there. Look how high up we really are. Look. There's a county square, down there, and on right. So in a few moments we're coming into the Royal Mile again. We're coming to the stop for Edinburgh Castle, Scotch History Heritage Centre, Camera Obscura, Castle Reading Centre. They're all up the hill. If you wish to visit Mary King's Coast, the underground coast, sealed up in 1645, when everyone died from the plague, forgotten about, and not found again until the turn of the 20th century, you also get off this bus at this bus stop. You cross the road and walk 1 block down, and you'll see the flagpole sticking out the way. That's where Mary King's Coast. What you need to know is, there wasn't underground when it was built, so it was on ground level, but the Royal Mile was much lower than it is today. It is authentic. There's abattoirs, cowsheds, houses, shops, and one of the Scotch History Heritage Centre, Camera Obscura Reading Centre up the road, Mary King's Coast, 1 block down. And then there's a bus every 30 minutes, and at your last train in the railway bridge this afternoon is 4:15. And this part you're coming into on your map is the Lawn Mount. Here we come. Anybody wishing for Edinburgh Castle, Scotch History Heritage Centre, Camera Obscura, Castle Reading Centre, up the hill, Mary King's Coast, 1 block down. The houses in the Royal Mile were so close together you could take your hand out the window and had an inside stair. There's no way you could get that coffin down the stairs for burial. And so a law was passed that you passed the coffin out the window into a house that had an outside stair, they bumped you down the stairs and they took you away for burial. And the moral of the story is, don't die in your own bed, die in somebody else's, when you should have an outside stair when you're at it. Hello again.
Hello again.
Yeah. So this church ahead of us you'll see coming into view, was once the Highland Trobe Church in Edinburgh, where all the services were held in the Gaelic song. It's now the headquarters of the Edinburgh International Festival, and it's known as the Hub. And we're coming down onto Johnston Terrace, named after William Johnston, one of the Lord Constable of the 1800s. And the Victorians blasted the castle rock to make this terrace here so that there's easy access down into the Grass Market, which is your second oldest street, the one that we have just left. And you're going to get a super view of Edinburgh Castle coming up now. You see it coming into view? If you're visiting the castle, it will cost you £11, so there's no discount. But you do get a discount with your ticket into the Camera Obscura, which is the Outlook Tower. You climb right to the top of the tower, look onto a film screen on the table, they bring a periscope down, you move it around the table, and you can see what's going on in Edinburgh at this precise moment. You will see at the castle the Scottish War Memorial, beautiful building. You'll see the crown jewels, the oldest crown jewels in Europe, apart from the ones in Hungary. You'll see the military museum, the banqueting hall. You'll see the bedroom where Mary Queen of Scots, the royal apartments where Mary Queen of Scots had her son, King James VI of Scotland in 1566. You'll see the dungeons where the French prisoners were kept after the Napoleonic Wars, and you'll see one of our cannons. We've got lots of them up there. One in particular is Mons May. It's 14th century, and it's massive. I don't know how it got anywhere at all. So, as we come round the corner, you get the smashing view of Edinburgh Castle. Here it is on your right-hand side. It never ceases to amaze me how this castle stands. I know they had slaves to help build it, but you know, there's no machinery like today, and here it is, standing there. This part's Victorian, but Robert the Bruce in the 1300s actually raised the castle to the ground so they could build a more defensive one. The only building it kept was Queen Margaret's Chapel, which dates back to the 11th century. We're going to look at our concert hall now. So look here to your left, and then look to your left again, and you'll see our concert hall, the Usher Hall. It's being refurbished at the moment. See it there? Andrew Usher, one of a rich whisky distilling family, in 1896 left the sum of £110,000 for that building to be erected. But if you wished a drink at the interval, you had to come out and go into one of the bars, because it did not have a license. Oh, one married her, obviously the other one couldn't. Would it be so much easier if they'd been identical twins? They could have one each. It'd save them a lot of bother. Probably still chosen the wrong one. Oh well, never mind. The road ahead of us is Lothian Road. Now, in 17th century Notorious Street, that King George III said, "What? Never do, change it." So they changed it to Princes after his sons, the Prince of Wales and the Duke of York. So now we're into our new town of Edinburgh. This is our 18th century town. And when they built it, nobody wanted to come in there. Yeah, oh, we're all too happy up in the old town. There's no class distinction up here. The village live next door to the ordinary person. So the proud people could come and live here. And once it caught on how wonderful it was, the gentry stayed here and the poor people stayed up in the old town of Edinburgh. Was said to build a new town of invited King George IV to come on a state visit in Scotland, again with the popular royal family has been covered. Now look at the last house on the left-hand side behind the traffic light. That was the home of Alexander Graham Bell, the gentleman who invented the telephone. Born in this house on the 3rd of March, 1847. And this is Charlotte Square, known as the Harley Street of Edinburgh because so many doctors lived here. And this square was designed by Robert Adam, the famous Scottish architect. In the middle of the square on your right is Prince Albert, Queen Victoria's husband, the Prince Consort, and that statue was unveiled 13 years after Prince Albert died. We've got the church coming up ahead of us here, coming up on your left-hand side. This was known as St George's Church. This was the church I was baptised in. I don't know what I've done to it, but I've managed to close it down. So we keep our historical documents in here instead, and it's now known as West Register House. And when we go around the corner, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to look at the Georgian House, the 18th century house, owned by the National Trust for Scotland. So we see it, it's closed for the winter, unfortunately. It's number 7 Charlotte Square. Here it comes. There you are, number 7 Charlotte Square. Had you bought that house in 1796, it would have cost you £1,800, a lot of money in the 18th century. And there's about 15 to 16 rooms in it. But the master bedroom tended always to be on the